everybody. I'm feeling a lot better since the bleeding stopped at week 8. I'm feeling a bit more confident about it, and to be honest with you, I've not wanted to eat anything. Nausea has been at a full-time high. It'd been awful, and I've just felt so rubbish that I've been in bed a lot. The eating side of things has been, well, I've just not been able to stomach anything. The thought of pasta, any food makes me, well, it was just really turning my stomach. But this last week since the nausea stopped, but of course then my worry increased slightly because then I'm wondering why it stopped. But when I've looked into it, nausea stopping around 10 weeks seems to be quite common. It's not fully gone by any means. Like certain times I think of food and I think, like, you know, but I don't actually, I felt like there was sick just there in my throat this whole time, definitely since week 6. It's been like that. Probably even before slightly. I'll have to go back to my videos, but I think around week 5 or the end of week 5 it started. And then it just felt like it's lasted forever. I mean, really, it's been a whole month of feeling sick. I've been sick quite a lot. And so George keeps asking me what's wrong with me. And then he's asking if you just got a cold and stuff. And you know when you can see a child's brain like ticking away? I was just a bit worried that he thinks I'm ill, if you know what I mean. So I just decided to tell him. It was a bit of a war really in my mind, because I was thinking to myself, like, do we tell him and risk there being something wrong at the 12-week scan? Or do we just leave it till after the 12-week scan? But then I started thinking, well, hold on a minute. Everything was fine at the twins' 12-week scan. And then we lost them around week 15, 16. I decided that I think, you know, this baby, whether it stays with us or not, deserves to be celebrated. My tummy's getting a lot bigger as well. I just thought that it's definitely worth mentioning to George, because if at this point now something did happen, he would probably see me very upset and he'd probably wonder why I'm so upset. And I just thought sometimes speaking to him, you know, he is 5 and he can handle things, and I just feel like I just want to include him in this. So at the moment, my last scan was at 9 weeks. At the early pregnancy unit at Blackpool Victoria Hospital. They're absolutely lovely there. After having a scan, so exciting and felt so real, like, oh, we might actually get to have this baby and take it home, you know. And then what happens after the scan, especially when you've had a loss before, is then you start thinking, as time goes further away, like, oh, it's been an hour since the scan, like, I hope anything's not happened in that hour. Well, obviously then it goes days and then weeks after. And then I start thinking, oh, because I can't see what's going on inside, and obviously you can't feel anything, it's like you just don't know. So the only way I can deal with this at the moment is just by not thinking about it too much. I mean, we don't even know the sex, but everyone is saying to me, oh, what are you going to call him? And oh, George will be great at being a big brother, and George, you're going to have a little brother to look after. And I'm thinking, I've not even found the sex out yet, but I've got a feeling it's a boy. We weren't going to find the sex out. This is now, because time's getting closer, and hopefully we actually get to the point where, with the twins, I wasn't going to find out. And I kind of regret that now, because I never knew. We think they were girls. Well, it's pretty clear that we think they're girls. We think they're girls. We thought they were girls, sorry, because when they were born, they had no willy, if you like, and by the stage that they were lost, they would have started to grow that. So we think they were girls, but unfortunately, because I never actually found out, I won't ever fully 100% know, but I feel like they were. So with this one, I don't know. I've got a real feeling that it's a boy, but then there was a psychic. Now, basically, when I was trying for a baby, I was really, really struggling because we weren't getting pregnant and people around us were. So there was a couple of people that had just literally got together and got pregnant straight away, which obviously was so happy for them, but it's so hard to hear as well. And now I know what that's like, and it's awful at the time, and you can't help it, and you want to be happy, and you are happy for them, but you're also really jealous. And so when I found out about someone that had got pregnant quite quickly, I was like, oh, when will be my time? When will be my time? And I was desperate for a bit of reassurance. And there was a lady on Facebook that just popped up, because they know what you're searching for, don't they? And it was, I think she was called Psychics by Nick. Now, I'm not endorsing her in any way. She doesn't even know I exist, probably. But she came up, and I just thought, what have I got to lose? At least it'll give me a bit of hope. So anyway, so I reached out to her and paid for a fertility psychic reading, which was all done via Messenger. I didn't even speak to her, but I just wanted some glimmer of hope, or at least something just to hang on to for a short time. So anyway, I'd messaged her, and she came back saying, April next year will be your year. I think this was in September time. But basically she said, next April is going to be a great month for you. And I was like, next April? That's ages away. Anyway, but she said, you will have conceived on then or by then. No, you will have conceived by then. So basically it left the window open each month, but she said, I think you're going to have a girl. But then she also said, I'm going to go on to have another boy, which definitely won't be happening after this, after the stress of this. So I thought, right, okay, anyway, this is why we ended up going and finding out, speaking to a fertility clinic, because basically it got to April, and April, that time of the month came, April the 5th, and I was devastated, because unbeknown to me, I was secretly hanging on to what she had said, and her reviews were so good that I was just thinking, right, okay, well, I'm just going to hang on what she said. As long as I get to April, I only have to get to April. Anyway, then that time came. Well, it hit me like no other time before. Every time is awful when you're trying for a baby, but that time it was like I've got nothing left to hang on to. There was no hope to hang on to anymore, and I just cried for days and days and days. And then every time I went on social media, as people would do, and as they should be able to celebrate being pregnant, I was just felt like everyone around me was just getting pregnant, and I was just totally jealous. Happy but for them, but then jealous. Why can't it be me? Why can't it be me? Anyway, so I really felt like that was it for us, really. I just thought, it's not going to happen. There's something that isn't right with me. I was finding that I was losing a lot of hair. My hormones were everywhere. I was really anxious, really bad panic attacks. April came and I still wasn't pregnant. And obviously I'd got to the point where this girl said it would have happened by. So I was absolutely devastated, spent days in bed, just didn't feel myself. And then what I decided to do was reach out to a fertility clinic, a private fertility clinic, because I said to Danny, if we are going to do this and we do need IVF, would we do it? Maybe we would, we don't know. We just wanted to see if there was any problems from maybe it might have been when I lost the twins and they did the D&C, etc., because you can get scarring from that. It got to the point where it was just into May, and obviously that time of the month was due again. But I actually did conceive in April, which is really weird. And I'm totally going off subject here because we were talking about gender, but she said a girl. She said it would be a little girl. But I feel like it's a boy. I really do. I feel like I'm having another boy. I felt the same with George. I just feel like it's definitely a boy. So we weren't going to find out this time, because we know it's our last, and, you know, at the end of the day, it might be a bit fun not finding out. But then I just realised that I really want to decorate the nursery, and there's a safari theme if it's a boy. Not that a girl can't have safari, but if it's a girl, I love pink. It's my favourite colour, so that would be the avenue I'd go down with that one. Probably not full on pink, but, you know, I'd like the odd pink thing in there. If it's a boy, I've seen the exact nursery that I want to make, and I've saved pictures on my phone, and I was kind of clinging on to the fact that you know, oh, if I can't find out, then I'm going to have to make it all kind of, you know, neutral. And I like neutral, but I really like this safari theme. So I think we will find out what the sex is. And I think I know what the answer's going to be. I've just got a feeling, and I'm always right. I'm not always right, because it's only been George that I've actually found out for, but I was right last time, and I just knew, and I feel like I just know. So I could be totally wrong, but it feels like everyone else knows as well, because a couple of my friends that I've told have said, like, it's definitely a boy, isn't it? I was like, yeah, I just know. I feel like I'm destined to be a mum of boys. But it is exciting not knowing, even though I feel like I do know, but I don't factually know. Everything's starting to feel better. I'm starting to be able to stomach foods. I can actually sit in a restaurant now without actually feeling physically sick when I see other people's food. My bump, I'll show you. It's there. It seems to get bigger at night time, but that is it at the moment. Let me move yeah. It's, for me, it's normally quite flat, so that is there. And if I showed you later on tonight, it would be even bigger. It seems to grow in the day, but I feel like I can tell, and I feel like it's obvious, but yeah, it might not be obvious to anyone else. But anyway, I'm going on, and I'm going to leave you to it, because I could just chat rubbish all day. So I'll speak to you soon. I'll speak to you next week and give you an update on how my week is so far. This week, no scans scheduled, no updates. I've got a Doppler in the drawer in my bedroom that I'm resisting using, just because I recently read a post on Dopplers and how sometimes parents think that they can hear the baby's heartbeat, but actually it's their own. Or sometimes parents can not hear the baby's heartbeat and then start panicking. And around now it said I should be able to hear it, I've read somewhere. So I feel like, you know, I did try it a couple of weeks ago, and I didn't hear anything. It didn't bother me, because I know it was very early to listen. But now I know that I probably should hear something. I think with the scan being next Friday, I think I'm going to resist doing that, just because I know that would just be a week, 2 weeks. No, a week. What day are we on? Next Friday. Friday. So it would just be a week of worry. So I'm not going to put myself through it. And I'll just deal with anything that comes at the scan next week. Really nervous about that. But hopefully everything's okay. Speak to you soon.